Hello and welcome back to the Basement Integrity Podcast by IcyReno. It's Friday, February 13th, 2026. And, I know what you're thinking. Friday the 13th.
Yeah, bad luck horror movies.
Right, guys in hockey masks. But honestly, that feels a little too on the nose for what we're talking about today because for a homeowner, there's a very specific kind of horror that has nothing to do with Hollywood.
Oh, I know exactly where you're going with this. It's a much slower, quieter kind of horror.
It is. It's the horror of walking downstairs, maybe in your socks on a Sunday morning, and hearing that squish.
Ugh.
Especially, and this is the key part, especially when you thought you'd already killed the monster.
That is the worst feeling. It's the sequel nobody asked for.
Yeah.
The Return of the Dampness.
Exactly. So just to orient everyone, this is episode 48. In our last deep dive, we walked through the Toronto Homeowner's Guide to Basement Waterproofing. That was, the 101.
A happy path.
Happy path where everything goes right. But today we're dealing with what happens when it all goes wrong.
We are looking at that frustrating scenario where you've already paid for waterproofing. You hired a contractor, you wrote the check, you filed the warranty away.
And you think, okay, that's over.
But 6 months later, the air is heavy.
I want to paint this picture because I think a lot of people in the GTA are feeling this. You did everything right. You saw some mildew, hired someone. But now it's February, snow's melting, and you go to grab a cardboard box from the corner and the bottom just falls out.
It's heartbreaking because it's not just the wet cardboard. It's that sinking feeling of, I just threw thousands of dollars into a black hole.
It really is. So our mission for this deep dive is to be the forensic team. We're going to explain why that happens. Why does partial waterproofing fail?
And why is water just so relentless?
It's about looking at the structural reality beneath your feet, not just, treating the symptoms. We see it all the time.
Okay, so let's start there. The common assumption is, if the basement is wet, the water must be coming through the walls, right? Like from the side. That's what we call the wall versus floor trap. It's the biggest misconception. And look, walls are critical. You don't want cracks.
Of course.
But water doesn't just come from the sides. You have to remember what we're building on.
The soil.
The soil.
Yeah.
And specifically Toronto soil. A huge part of the GTA is built on heavy clay.
And clay acts like a sponge, right?
A giant sponge. It holds a ton of water. So when we get a heavy rain or when the snow melts, like right now, the water table, it physically rises.
Okay, so the water level in the ground is actually going up.
Exactly. And that creates this massive upward force. It's a concept called hydrostatic pressure. Imagine trying to push a beach ball underwater.
It fights back hard.
The deeper you go, the harder it pushes back. That's what's happening to your house. The water table is trying to occupy the space your basement is in. Now, if you've waterproofed the walls perfectly,
The fortress,
but you ignored the floor, that water is just going to take the path of least resistance.
which is the floor itself.
Yes. And here's the thing about older Toronto homes. The concrete floor slab can be, 2 inches thick? It's often cracked. It was never designed to hold back that kind of pressure.
So the water just comes right through the concrete. I thought it was solid.
Concrete is porous. It's like a very hard sponge. So water migrates right through it. That's why even if you don't see a puddle, you get that unshakable damp feeling.
It's just evaporating into the air.
Precisely. Or it seeps in at the cove joint.
The what?
The cove joint. It's just the seam where the wall meets the floor. It's a tiny gap. So if you seal the wall but don't manage the pressure under the floor, the water finds that seam and it's in.
Wow. So it's like wearing a raincoat but standing in a puddle in your socks.
Perfect analogy. You can't stop a rising water table with wall paint. You need a drainage system that goes under the floor.
Okay, you said wall paint, and that brings up something else. The terms. Damp proofing versus waterproofing. People use them interchangeably.
They do, and they're absolutely not the same thing. This is a trap that catches a lot of homeowners. It's the difference between a windbreaker and a submarine.
Okay, so break it down. What's damp proofing?
Damp proofing is basically a Band-Aid. It's a thin coating, usually like tar or a spray-on sealant.
It's a goop.
A thin layer of goop, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's designed to stop soil moisture. Just damp dirt touching the concrete. But it cannot handle pressurized water.
It can't handle hydrostatic pressure.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And with our freeze-thaw cycles, it gets brittle, it cracks, and then it's useless.
And waterproofing?
Waterproofing is a system. It assumes water is coming and gives it a place to go. It's flexible membranes, drainage boards, and weeping tiles to redirect the water.
I've heard you say there's a real danger in just sealing the inside wall of an older home.
Oh, it's a huge risk. This is what we call rotting from the inside. If you have a porous foundation, like old cinder blocks, and you seal the inside, You're trapping water inside the blocks.
Oh, wow. So water soaks in from the outside, hits the sealant, and just sits there.
Exactly. It saturates the masonry, then it freezes, it expands, and it starts to pop the face off the brick or block. You're literally dissolving your foundation from the inside out.
That is terrifying. Okay, so that brings us to drainage. The weeping tiles.
The missing link. It's a perforated pipe that's supposed to collect the water and carry it away. But in neighborhoods like the Annex or High Park,
Old homes.
very old homes, the original weeping tiles are made of clay, like a flower pot.
And after 100 years on the ground,
They've collapsed.
Oh.
Or they're totally clogged with tree roots.
So an interior system collects all this water, funnels it down to the bottom, and then it just hits a traffic jam.
A complete traffic jam. It just pools under the foundation. Without a clear exit path, like to a sump pump, you're just keeping the concrete perpetually wet. You've built an indoor moat.
Which really highlights the Toronto factor, doesn't it? It's not just the house, it's the aging infrastructure of the whole city.
It is. The sewers are old. They weren't designed for the storms we get now. We see it all the time. Someone buys a beautiful old semi, renovates the kitchen, puts in gorgeous hardwood, but ignores the basement.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Until 2 years later, and their brand new hardwood floors on the main level are cupping. The edges are curling up.
From the basement.
From the humidity rising up from that damp, ignored basement. A house is a system. You can't separate the foundation from the living room. Relying on a 1920s foundation to fight 2020 storms is a losing battle.
So if patches are a losing battle, what's the permanent fix? Let's talk about the nuclear option.
It is the permanent fix. We're talking about basement underpinning.
And people hear that and they just think, oh, higher ceilings?
And it is that. An 8-foot ceiling is a massive upgrade. But it's really about creating a brand new, dry, structural container for your home. It's hitting the reset button.
So walk us through why it works. What's the process?
It's a 4-step fix. Step 1, removal. We take out that old, thin, cracked concrete floor. It's gone.
A fresh start.
Exactly. Step 2 is a new gravel layer. This is critical. We put down clear gravel to create what's called a capillary break.
So the concrete isn't just sucking moisture straight from the dirt.
Right. The gravel breaks that connection. Step 3 is new drainage. We install brand new weeping tiles and connect them to a sump pump. We are actively pumping water away from the house.
And the final step?
The vapor barrier. Before we pour the new floor, a heavy-duty liner goes down. It completely seals the earth off from your space. You're basically building a boat hull inside the ground.
And you get the 8-foot ceilings as a bonus.
You get the 8-foot ceilings, which has massive value. But more importantly, you stop the rot, you stop the mold, you stop the cupping floors. You give a 100-year-old foundation 21st century tech.
It's shifting from defense to offense. You're taking control.
That's exactly it. And it's about not settling for mostly dry. If you're running a dehumidifier 24/7 and you still smell that musty odor, you need to look at the structure.
It's true. The peace of mind is huge.
It is. And look, this is what we do at IcyReno. We've been at this since 2009. We're bonded, insured. We cover Toronto, Etobicoke, Scarborough.
So if you're listening and this sounds familiar,
just reach out. We offer a free consultation. It doesn't cost anything to have us come out and just assess the situation. You can call us at 647-454-6660 there.
It's about solving those moisture issues for good.
And here's the final thought I want to leave you with. Think about your home's future value. Is the foundation of your investment actually solid? Or is it just painted over? Because a dry, structurally sound basement with good height is a massive asset.
A damp basement with fresh paint is a liability.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, we are going to wrap up this deep dive. Thank you for listening to the Basement Integrity Podcast by IcyReno. We hope your boxes stay dry and your Friday the 13th is horror-free.
Stay dry, everyone.
We'll see you on the next one. Take care.